How's it going, everybody? And the best is the best that was, the best that ever will be. There but none before me, there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jay Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with the news of the week, followed by your SmackDown and Raw reviews. Then I am going to a review of SummerSlam 2018. I already reviewed 2019, so I figured 2018 might be a fun one. 2017's already been done, so sticking to the 2010s, the era I really do know a lot about, and still something I have fun with, sticking in that era. Then we have your drink of the week, followed by the Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into the news right now. A WWE star has re-signed with the company. A former WWE superstar wants to come back to the company, and who is injured after the injury bug is still running rampant through WWE. Let's get into the news with a legend re-signing. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley has re-signed a Legends contract and is apparently going to be seen on screen soon as he wants to do a new Three Faces of Foley thing. I don't know what this means, but apparently Mick Foley demanded that his manager put it back into his contract of him being in a Three Faces of Foley skit for him to re-sign. So, don't know what it means, but damn, I'm excited for it. And two wrestlers, and a former WWE superstar says he wants to come back to the company. Who is it? Well, it's none other than Kurt Hawkins. That's not right. Hang on. Someone messed with my notes. Who is it? Someone messed with my fucking notes. It's not Kurt Hawkins. Did I write this wrong? Where did I put this? These notes are wrong. Who is it? Sorry. Heath Slater wants to return to WWE and fulfill the prophecy of having a 3MB reunion with Drew and Jinder. You know, I can actually see this happening. This would actually be a very cool thing to come back to the company with. For some reason, I know what happened here. I always get him and Kurt Hawkins confused. I apologize. They kind of look alike to me. But I could easily see this happening. This would be a fun little reunion. It wouldn't need to be much, maybe just a couple episodes, just a little thing, and then lead to a feud between Jinder and Drew. Just my opinion. And finally, two more WWE stars have been injured. Apparently, Liv Morgan and Kevin Owens are on the mend. They were written off TV this week. They don't know how long they'll be off of TV. I'll get more into their injuries in my Raw review of what happened on TV, but apparently they have both been written off of TV for a while, so a speedy recovery to them. But let's get into SmackDown. As SmackDown kicked off with Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman arriving to the arena. We then get your Fatal 4-Way as Cameron Grimes, Sheamus, LA Knight, and Rey Mysterio arrive for the Fatal 4-Way United States Championship Invitational. During the match, Austin Theory would attack Rey Mysterio. This led to Santos Escobar making the save. And Rey Mysterio would actually end up picking up the win after pinning Cameron Grimes. I know a lot of people are saying WWE messed with LA Knight here, but I honestly see LA Knight as a world champion more than a United States champion. Not that the United States title is low. I'm just saying I think they have a bigger plan for LA Knight. Triple H has come out and said wait and see what we do here. So I'm actually excited for that. We then get Jey Uso arriving backstage, and where he saw multiple NXT wrestlers. I like that they're really showing, because this was in Orlando, by the way, they're really showing NXT love. You had Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Tiffany Stratton all at ringside in attendance, which was cool. You then get Charlotte Flair versus Io Sky. Very good match. It showed off very good work between them until there was a Hurricane Run on the outside, and it was very much botched by both wrestlers. It was okay. That really brought the match down for me. The ending, though, however, of Shotzi going crazy was awesome. And Bayley running away from ringside, allowing Charlotte to hit natural selection on Io Sky for the win. It's cool, by the way, also, so apparently Bayley is not injured anymore. Her knee has healed up, and she is all good. That's what it at least looks like to me. Oh, we get the new North American champion. That podcast isn't going to come back to haunt me. Yeah, for those of you who don't remember, on my podcast last week, I mentioned how I thought Dominic Mysterio had no chance to win the NXT North American title, and I was proven wrong. He beat Wes Lee. Yay. We then get Butch coming out to challenge Dirty Dom to an NXT title match tonight. Shawn Michaels came out and announced it would be official. We then get Santos Escobar in a match versus Austin Theory, where Santos Escobar actually picked up the win to make him look like he would be a bigger threat to Austin Theory than most would think. We then get Bobby Lashley backstage meeting Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Very cool little thing to see. It's clear Bobby Lashley is building a new stable. We then get Dominic Mysterio and Butch. Dominic Mysterio would pick up the win after Ridge Holland was distracted at ringside by Pretty Deadly showing up. So it looks like maybe this Pretty Deadly injury isn't real. It might be storyline. I don't know. But that was very cool to see. I also like Wade Barrett making a joke about the wheelchair. That was funny. He said Prince William. So that was hilarious. We then get the main event of Roman Reigns meeting Jey Uso in the ring for their contract signing for SummerSlam. Because it will be official. SummerSlam, the Universal WWE Championship, will be on the line against Jey and Jimmy. Jey and Roman Reigns will have a tribal combat match. What does that mean? No one knows, but it sounds cool. So it's going to be Jey and Roman in a basically no DQ Falls Count Anywhere match. Sounds good when you're outnumbered by a bunch of guys. Jey actually showed Roman support, showed love, shaking his hand. And then Solo went for a Samoan spike, but Jey was able to counter him after Roman made the stop on the spike. Roman said, "Not now. I end him at SummerSlam." Very good SmackDown. I won't say it was great. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but there were still moments where I was definitely saying, okay, you need more from this. You need this. Just wanted to say that it was good, not great. Let's move on to Raw. As Raw kicked off with an NXT Championship celebration of Dominic Mysterio with his NXT North American Championship. Yay. You would have Sami Zayn come out and challenge Dominic to a match. Dominic would accept and would face Sami Zayn later in a match for the North American Championship. We then get Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a very good match. I'm sorry, not Trish Stratus. I still had her on my mind because she was at ringside. It was Zoe Starks, Trish Stratus' kind of apprentice. Very good match, very fun match. Becky Lynch was able to pick up the win. It really goes to show the talent of Zoe Starks. Zoe Starks was hitting amazing moves. The Z360 is becoming one of my favorite finishers in WWE. So shout out to Becky Lynch for winning this. And it looks like it will be Becky versus Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. We then get Cody Rhodes calling out Brock Lesnar again for next week, as he says he is ready to fight the Beast in the rubber match to end the feud with Brock Lesnar. And you would have him actually declare Brock Lesnar as the new Mr. SummerSlam. I either feel it should be Seth. I feel like that should be Seth Rollins, with Seth Rollins always having a great match. But there's also one where I feel like Seth Rollins is a new Mr. WrestleMania. So you know what, Brock, you're Mr. SummerSlam. We think of Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn in a very good match. It just goes to show how much Dom has really improved in the ring, as he had great ring work, but I'm sure Sami Zayn could get a good match out of a pillowcase if he worked hard enough. You would have Dom win this match. During the match, you would have Rhea and Priest get ejected from ringside, but so would Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens would get the shit beat out of him backstage to get written off of TV. So now you have Kevin Owens written off with a legitimate injury. We then get Tommaso Ciampa telling Shinsuke Nakamura to stay out of his business as he went out for a match versus Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed would pick up the win after Shinsuke Nakamura would cost Tommaso Ciampa a match by a distraction. Tommaso Ciampa versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That could be one hell of a feud. We then get Women's Champion Rhea Ripley coming out for her match versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan would come out and would try to fight Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, who would attack Liv before the bell. Liv Morgan would then be injured in an armbar, and she would actually show backstage her acting chops as she would actually be crying from the injury. Apparently she is actually injured, her shoulder. It really does suck to see Liv Morgan go on the shelf after just coming back from the head injury. We then get Maxine Dupri announcing she will have her first match against Valhalla next week. It looks like this feud will continue into SummerSlam, and we will get the Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders at SummerSlam, hopefully. This card's really shaping up. We then get Ricochet coming to the ring to antagonize Logan Paul. Logan Paul would show up and attack him from behind. And I guess this is official. Logan Paul would say he accepts Ricochet's challenge, and I guess SummerSlam, Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Damn, this card's really going up. We then get Money in the Bank, Damian Priest versus Apollo Crews. Good match. Shows Apollo Crews has worked on his in-ring style since coming back from NXT. Apollo Crews picks up the win. Great match. Damian Priest picks up the win, I apologize. And a great match. We then get Gunther challenging Drew McIntyre to a match at SummerSlam after Drew challenged him to a match tonight for the Intercontinental Championship. And Drew accepted. SummerSlam. Drew versus Gunther. IC title. We then get Giovanni Vinci at ringside with Gunther for a match between Drew McIntyre and Ludwig Kaiser. I'll talk more about this in my Battle Droid of the Week. But Drew McIntyre picked up the win. We then get Ronda Rousey agreeing to Shayna Baszler challenge for a fight at SummerSlam, so it will be official of Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. And then we finally get your main event. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor signing their contract for SummerSlam to make it official. They sign it. Finn says he's had a 7-year itch for Seth Rollins, and at SummerSlam, he makes him his 7th-year bitch. Please, God, bring the demon. Please, God, bring the demon. Please, God, bring the demon. If he brings the demon, I would love this match. It would be perfect. Judgment Day got involved and tried to beat down Seth Rollins. You would have Sami Zayn try to make the save and get beat down. So this was a very good, very fun Raw. I would say it was a great Raw. Definitely. If you're looking for a really good build for SummerSlam, this is it. I'm actually going to take a look. I wasn't going to do this, but let's take a look at the card real quick and see what's been made official and what hasn't been for SummerSlam 2023. SummerSlam 2023. Here we go. So you have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Seth friggin' Rollins versus Finn Balor. A triple threat match for the Women's Championship of Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Bianca Belair. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. And Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Yeah, this SummerSlam card's going to hit hard. Not to mention, you're probably going to get the Women's World Championship on the line against, I believe it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez, which could be an awesome match with Rhea Ripley, and you're also going to get a United States Championship match. So yeah, this is going to be a good show. But speaking of good shows, let's go on to a show I really enjoy, SummerSlam 2018. Very fun show. It kicked off with the kickoff show, which had a couple matches on. First, it had Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega versus Lana and Rusev in a mixed tag team match. Andrade Cien Almas would pick up the win. This would kind of be Rusev's really kind of last big hurrah in the company, as he would be released before WrestleMania, WWE granting his release. We then get Cedric Alexander defending his Cruiserweight Championship that he won at WrestleMania 34 against Drew Gulak. Cedric would pick up the win, and it was a good match. The Cruiserweights always delivered a good match. We then get the B Team versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The B Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, defeated Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Just let that sink in your head for a second. Okay. Now that's in your head, let's move on to your regular show kickoff match of Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler in a classic Intercontinental Championship match, in my opinion. This match was so good. I loved every second of this match. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler was just perfect. By the way, I just remembered, my father told me to point this out as he listens to a podcast every week, usually. Hi, Dad. I forgot to say last week that AJ Styles beat John Cena. I forgot to say, I was so caught up in the match itself, I forgot to say AJ Styles beat John Cena to continue their feud. Anyway, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose would be at ringside for this match. It was a great match. Seth Rollins would pin Dolph Ziggler with a stomp to regain the Intercontinental Championship and bring it back to the Shield. This was, I believe, yes, it was Dean Ambrose's last SummerSlam. And it probably will be for the rest of his life. I don't imagine we'll see him back in SummerSlam. The only time he'll come back, I think, is for the Hall of Fame. That's it. We then get the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers in a 9-minute tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This was a good match. It sucks that it had to happen because the Bludgeon Brothers were such a good team, but unfortunately, Luke Harper would get injured in a match before this, and he would be written off TV, and then we would have Eric Rowan join up with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, it was. You would have Harper and Rowan lose by disqualification. Then on SmackDown, you would have them lose the titles to the New Day. We then get Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens in a singles match for the Money in the Bank contract, as Kevin Owens had been antagonizing Braun Strowman and actually technically won their match at Extreme Rules that year, as Braun Strowman threw him off of the cage. If Braun Strowman lost, he would lose the Money in the Bank contract, and Kevin Owens would try to fight, but Braun Strowman would basically hit a running power slam. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman retains and buries Kevin Owens in this match. There's a reason for that later. We then get a triple threat match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match. For a SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this match means a lot to a lot of people. And here's why. It was the birth of the man, Becky Lynch. When Becky Lynch first turned heel and adopted the moniker, I'm the man. This led to her, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey main eventing WrestleMania, the first women to ever do so. Charlotte Flair would be added to the match as Becky was the number one contender. Becky would be pissed off by this, and it would be the end of Carmella's reign. We all knew it was coming. People thought Becky Lynch was going to win the title and then go on to a feud with Charlotte Flair. We all knew Becky was going to turn heel, but no one saw it catching fire like this. I think if Becky had won the title and still turned heel on Charlotte, it wasn't going to be the man. You would have had people booing her. You would have. But instead, because she lost the title, she just became this lovable heel. I loved her as a heel, and I thought she was awesome as a heel. I still think she's awesome as a heel. I like her better as a heel than a face, in my opinion. But the man was something that just couldn't be denied, and it led to something awesome. Charlotte Flair would win this match. Becky Lynch would win the year. We then get Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. In a feud that should have been so much better than it was. This was all focused on Samoa Joe tormenting AJ Styles' family. This should have just been history between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. That's what it should have been. And instead, we got the disqualifications, the stupid matches that ended up unfortunately being AJ Styles' second WWE title reign. Should have been way better than it ended up being. We then get The Miz versus Daniel Bryan in a great singles match to reignite their feud after Daniel Bryan came back at WrestleMania 34. These guys were awesome. The Miz would pick up the win after Maurice would hand him brass knucks. Brass knucks to the jaw of Daniel Bryan. 1, 2, 3. This would lead to a mixed tag team match at Hell in a Cell, with The Miz and Maurice winning, and the feud ending there as Daniel Bryan would turn heel and go for the WWE Championship. We then get the Demon Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin in the quickest match of the night, if you could believe that. This was faster than Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. It was the Demon Finn Balor, coup de grace to Baron Corbin. 1, 2, 3. Demon picks up the win. We then get a United States Championship match as Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Jeff Hardy. Hard-fought match as Jeff Hardy would take a low blow to start off the match, but Shinsuke would pick up the win and retain his title. We then go your second main event of the night, Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss in her second ever match in WWE, or a third ever match in WWE for the Raw Women's Championship. It would last 4 minutes. Ronda Rousey would lock in an armbar on Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss would tap out. Ronda Rousey is your new Raw Women's Champion.
I can't find that video.
Okay. We then get your main event of the night. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar holding a death grip on that title since WrestleMania 33. Him and Roman would have one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history at WrestleMania 34. But Braun Strowman would come out and signal he was going to cash in after the match. This distracted Brock Lesnar enough to where Roman Reigns hit a spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is your new Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar has been defeated. Braun Strowman's laid out. The next night, Braun Strowman would attempt to cash in, and the Shield would reunite for a second to last time. It was a very cool moment. This SummerSlam had so many implications. It would actually lead to Dean Ambrose's heel turn. Roman Reigns would relinquish the Universal title after announcing he had cancer. It would lead to Dean Ambrose's heel turn, which led to him leaving the company and helping AEW become what it became. So, if you're looking for the moment AEW truly became a powerhouse, this is where it started. This SummerSlam. So yeah, this is a fun thing to look back on. Whew! After this, I could use a drink. How about Blue Hawaii? 3/4 ounces, 3/4 an ounce of vodka, 3/4 an ounce of light rum, 1/2 an ounce of blue curacao, 3 ounces pineapple juice, 1 ounce sweet and sour. You're going to take an apple to garnish with. Add ice to a shaking glass. Pour the vodka, the light rum, the blue curacao, the pineapple juice in, and the sweet and sour. Shake well, strain to a glass. Garnish with a pineapple wedge and a cherry. It's a very good drink and a very fun drink. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. So I mentioned part of it in my Raw review. The Battle Droid of the Week is Corey Graves. Corey Graves was insufferable this week on Raw. I was happy to see him last week get back to his norm. He was really being a heel, as he should be, but at the same time, it was just insufferable this week. If he was doing a stupid impersonation of Ludwig Kaiser, even Fightful, who everyone's always been supportive of Corey Graves except for me. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a fan of heel announcers. Even they called him out on this shit. They're like, dude, this was terrible. Everything sucks when this shit happens. So, for that, Corey Graves, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Next week, we will have my predictions for SummerSlam, and we will have a SummerSlam review, but mostly it will be about the predictions and the build-up to SummerSlam this year, as it is next Saturday. Stay tuned for that. Have a great week in wrestling. Thank you very much for listening.